Hey, what's up everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for entrepreneur moms with a digital presence. Now, if you're all fired up about launching on Instagram, but you don't know the right way to do it, and you're all worried about doing it wrong, well, I'm going to cover in this video the wrong way to launch on Instagram 2020. If you do not do those things I warn you about, you should be fine. Whether you have a pitch perfect launch or not, I'd rather you break the seal and get moving on Instagram now before you talk yourself out of it, as opposed to have you trying to obsessively prepare for the perfect launch and it never really comes. Nevertheless, there are a few mistakes I'd prefer you not to make as you launch. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get real-world help that entrepreneur moms like you need to succeed when you're doing business online today. Now, you're on the fence about launching, you're just having a failure to launch, kind of crisis of conscience. You're worried that you're a fish out of water on Instagram because you're an adult and not a kid or a much younger adult. Or you fear that this content marketing on Instagram is all possibly a waste of your time in the first place, for whatever the reason. Be sure to check out my video, Should an Entrepreneur Mom Begin on Instagram? That video should be a big help to you and will hopefully get you ready to take action. So if you missed that video, be sure to check it out. But here in this video, we're talking about the wrong way to launch on Instagram 2020. Perfect is the enemy of done, so stop stressing perfection. There, I gave you permission to stop doing that. But of course, you don't want bless this mess going on either as you launch. You do want your launch to go as well as it possibly can, of course. So here's my advice about the wrong way to launch on Instagram 2020, and hopefully it helps. Let me know if it does in the comments section down below. What's the first mistake, you ask? Setting up a pointless bio. There's no point to driving attention to your profile on Instagram if your bio isn't optimized. In my last video, I discussed this issue, and in another video of mine, 2020 Instagram Marketing Strategy, I do a deeper dive into what sort of bio you should have as a mature adult who is an entrepreneur marketing on Instagram on behalf of your business. So if you haven't checked out that video yet, you really should check it out. It'll help. Suffice it to say, having a goofy bio, just like all those crazy kids out there on Instagram, will not help you. You need to make sure visitors who drop by your account know in all of 60 seconds who you are, what you do, who you help, and how to take the next step with you. What's the second mistake when launching on Instagram? Having the wrong account type. You want to make sure that you've taken the steps necessary for you to have a business account on Instagram. Do not have the default personal account settings. You want to have the right account set up for you as an entrepreneur mom that is the business account. It's free, and in the video, Should an Entrepreneur Mom Start on Instagram, the video that just came before this one in this series, I specifically tell you how to do that. If you've already launched your Instagram account and you haven't changed it to a business profile or an account yet, like that, please don't sweat it. It's not too late. You didn't break or ruin anything. Just make sure you watch the video that came before this one in this series. Take the steps necessary to change to a business account, and you can relaunch your account, if you will, moving forward in the proper manner. You just don't want to miss out on all of the goodies that can help you to understand your audience and how your content lands by not getting into the right form of account as soon as possible. Of course, there's another wrong way to launch on Instagram, and that involves not banking content in advance. You need to properly prepare for launching your business presence on Instagram, especially because you're likely a busy entrepreneur parent watching this and you already have a crazy busy life. So start with a spreadsheet of ideas for Instagram content, including story content, feed posts, things to discuss during lives, and video ideas to shoot for IGTV. then prepare as much as possible in advance a nice big fat bank of content and make sure that you can bring it up from your camera roll and post it out into your feed as a feed post. Be ready to execute with confidence during a live. I'll have a separate video in this series covering that topic alone if you need help going live. Be ready to publish your IGTV videos by having them done in advance. Make your life easy. Work on the content over the weekend. Work on it during lunch breaks from work. Work on it during nap time for the kids. Work on it by getting up half an hour earlier during the day and going to bed half an hour, doing the work half an hour before you go to sleep at night. Want more tips on how to try to find a power hour for your business a day and what to do during it? Be sure to watch my video on this channel entitled Entrepreneur Mom Power Hour Uses. You'll be surprised how you can actually outsmart the busiest of schedules to get work in. While you should shoot to have an effective launch week and bank content in advance, that's the best thing to do. If you've already launched and set things in motion, do what you can to just pump up the jam on launch week or relaunch week in your case, so that you're more satisfied with your end result as you give yourself a do-over, if you will. Then it's onward and upward from there. But this leads me to a related mistake, which is not publishing enough. Please don't think that publishing once a week is enough to enjoy strong success on Instagram, launch day or launch week or not. Now, whatever you might have done, if anything, up until now, again, do not sweat it, but just understand that if you're posting Instagram content of any type once a week or not very consistently, that's not likely going to be effective on any social media platform, let alone Instagram. So again, I'd publish Instagram story content 3 times a day, not just on launch day or launch week, but really every day moving forward. You should go live at least once a week and more if you can. You can do an IGTV video once a week after launch week, but you should bank up a week's worth of daily ITVs to publish during launch week so that your IGTV channel doesn't look bare to newcomers. And feed posts? On launch day itself, I'd post 9 feed posts at least that day, and after that I do a feed post once a week as a minimum, and more if you can. Remember, you don't want to have nothing but a parade of products in your feed or content that's really just pitches to buy your services or whatever, because all sales promotional content is going to be a turnoff. So if you want to sell hard on Instagram, that's fine. You're a business, so people expect some of that when they come to your Instagram account once they realize you're a business. But just remember, I always recommend that your feed post content, really all of your Instagram content, when I think about it, should be 3 times the value add relationship marketing content to every one strictly sales driven post. Not using Instagram's features. Instagram is one of those apps that rewards you for using its features in-app. No app, when you think about it, ever wants you to leave its ecosystem. They want you and everyone else to stay on the app as long as possible. So keep things easy as you can, especially when you're creating Instagram story content. Use stickers, use GIFs. If you have access to a music sticker where you live in the world, then use music, do it all. And wherever you can leverage Instagram features outside of the Instagram story creator, go nuts. IGTV is getting a severely big push because Facebook Inc. that owns Instagram wants IGTV to be a competitor of YouTube's. So take advantage of the extra algorithmic reach that IGTV videos can get and create them as much as you can. You want reach? You'll get reach. Does that grow your follower base on Instagram? You know it should. That said, here's another wrong way to launch, or a wrong way to look at things as you're launching or relaunching your Instagram business account, and that's having unrealistic expectations. I want you to take the stress out of launching on Instagram, okay, mama? Just do it. Make a solid effort after optimizing your account, and for your sake, as much as possible, batch recording content in advance so that you can publish enough content on the Instagram app to even really have much of a launch in the first place. It's unrealistic to expect to blow up with a post a week or just a post a day. Nothing's impossible, but I'm just saying the algorithmic reach can be nice, especially if you optimize your posts well. But you really do have to have a healthy showing on the app to get good conversions over time. It's also unrealistic to expect to have 1 million followers or more overnight or possibly ever. But that's okay. You don't need 1 million followers or more to be a successful business person with a high converting business presence on Instagram, especially if you're an entrepreneur or mom with an established legit business that sells products, services, or both, because you're not trying to be an influencer per se. You've already got your business model, and that's selling your products, services, or both to a very specific, narrowed down niche of people. You're not trying to be a megastar influencer for the sake of being a megastar influencer. That's a different business model, and it could be a dangerous one, especially if you're chasing that particular sort of dragon. You could end up suffering what I call the curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer. What? Well, make sure you hit that notification bell, because in the next part of this Instagram series, I'll explain exactly what I mean and why being an influencer on Instagram could, I'm saying could, be a mess for you sooner or later in my next video, why you don't need to be Instagram famous. I'll discuss how you can stay true to you, grow slow and steady on Instagram, and still be proud of yourself, and how you do not need to cut your nose off to spite your face and end up becoming the functional equivalent of an Instagram zombie account influencer. I'll explain what I mean, I promise. I'll also share with you a sweet spot in terms of where to grow your Instagram following that might just shock you in a good way. So you don't want to miss that video. Again, make sure you hit that notification bell and select all so that you can follow along with this entire Instagram series that I've got to offer you. In the meantime, while you're waiting for that video, be sure to check out these two awesome videos as well. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot when you do that. And of course, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.